Something was wrong in my previous live, just so you know. I couldn't see the chat, so I clocked out and I deleted it. Could not see the chat. Welcome to my live. Oh no. I've got my laptop in my lap and it wants me to log into my Apple ID, which I'm always logged into, and it never shows me logged in or not logged in. It just keeps wanting me to log in. My computer needs a lobotomy. Okay, let me see if I can log into my live on my computer. There we go. Vitamin D is a what? What the what? Okay. That's just the first thing we're going to talk about. The photo does not match the description. I understand that. Get rid of the sound. You almost got to hear me twice. I do want to point out the picture behind me. I wish I could remember the name of the artist. It's on there. Can't read it. And I have another painting of his that I can actually read his signature on. But that is Morgan's Point in Australia. It's an original watercolor, and the artist of that Morgan's Point painting passed away a few years ago, I believe during COVID. I don't know if he died from COVID, but he died during COVID. It's very nice, very good artist, like really good artist. I've got another painting of his. Actually, it's at my mom's place. It's her. These are both her paintings. That Morgan's Point behind me, that is her painting. She just left it here. There's no room in her apartment for that big, huge painting. Hello to whomever came in. I was on bear duty last night, so I didn't get a whole lot of good sleep. Like I very much barely got any sleep last night. I found myself heading out to check because Miss Jaja was barking a little bit. Most of the night she was in her doghouse, which is super toasty. It's made with freezer panels that are 4 inches thick and they're the spray in insulation. And her ear is up right now. Oh gosh, she was sound asleep. I think she must have had a weird dream and she just woke up and her ear was like that. And her ears they lie flat. Hey, hot diddly dog 192. Hi in the UK. What part of the UK are you in? I will tell you, I have been to Ipswich, London a few times in Ipswich. Hey, when Larry sings, been a while, Larry. I'm just down South Brighton. Okay, I don't believe, well, I may have gone through Brighton because I was on the train. I was on the U-Rail pass way back before the European Union. It would have been the 1980s, the early 1980s when I was in that part of the world, traveling a lot. I was back in 2008, but that was just a day in London. And then we hopped on a flight down to Nigeria, no, Kenya, and then another flight over to Rwanda. And then when we came back through London, I'm pretty sure we didn't leave the airport. I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Northeast Tennessee. We are referred to as Tri Cities or the Lost State of Franklin. Hello, Solo Dolo. God bless you. Thanks for coming in. Thank you for saying hi. Brighton. I've heard a lot about Brighton. I don't know what that means. Hot diddly dog. William, hello. Okay, guys. I want to educate you all. First, I do want to tell some jokes. My picture on the front is, I definitely want to tell some jokes. And I know the book was backwards when I just showed it to you. Here, let me flip it around and I'll show you what it looks like. Again, giant little encyclopedia of one-liners. But I do have to tell you, full disclosure. Ooh, hoop. Anyway, it was printed in 1999, so it is officially a vintage book. It's not great as far as some people won't get it, they won't get the jokes. But some of them are really funny. So I want to read some of those one-liners. But first of all, I want to talk about vitamin D. Here's my vitamin D. I'll show you guys this way because otherwise you won't see it. You won't be able to read it. I get it from my doctor's office, Claire Labs. Vitamin D says it's a dietary supplement. And I do take, I don't ever remember to take them every day, but this is it. It's just a little capsule with white powder in it. They're allergen free, which is important for me because I'm allergic to so many things. It's the only vitamin D I've ever taken that actually raises my vitamin D levels in my blood. Hello, Shristi. Hi, thanks for saying hi. That's a beautiful picture you have there, dear. Thank you for subscribing. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Pamela. Nice to see you. Shristi. So vitamin D is actually a hormone, you guys. It's actually a hormone. And I learned about vitamin D. Well, I've known about it my whole life, okay? That it was a vitamin. I did not know it was a hormone until recently. I watch a lot of true crime, and I was watching a case of a baby, was he 4 months old, I think, that was taken from his parents by a children's hospital, Child Protective Services, and my my clock is telling me it's 12:45. It's going to make a bunch of noise. I think we'll be okay though. Don't think it'll make too much noise. No, it didn't. It's going to make a lot of noise in about 15 minutes. Anyway, this baby was taken from his parents because he had severe abuse. He had broken bones, he had bruises. I mean, he was only 4 months old for all that kind of damage. But it turns out he had something wrong in his body on one of his genes. He actually had a mutation and he had a vitamin D deficiency. His blood work showed that he had the right amount of vitamin D hormone in his system, but his body wasn't able to process it properly. So it was a stolen baby. And after 3.5 years, this family finally got their baby back. He was in child protective custody for most of his life. I don't know about dark circles. Tristy, sorry, I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, I have dark circles around my eyes, but and I obviously don't know how to remove them, otherwise I wouldn't have them. So this little book of jokes. Now that I'm done talking about the hormone vitamin D. Hello again, Margaret. Nice to see you. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate that. It's awesome helping my channel grow. So I wanted to look at some of the jokes, and one of them I wanted to look at is people we know and love. Osteoporosis. Hey, Larry sings. Yeah, thanks for commenting again, Larry. Oops, sorry about that. I forgot I put my microphone on my glasses. I'd rather have it up there than down on my throat or on my collar because I've got zippers and buttons and hair and all the things. So we're going to look at people we know and love. I don't think we're going to love very many of them. The different chapters are egomaniacs. I think we all know some of those, mostly in politics. Education, I like higher education, a lot of egomaniacs there. Medical, oh my goodness, some of the doctors. Hello, Zoe. Okay, bores is another one. Latecomers, not sure what that one will be about. Couch potatoes. I'm a couch potato. We're going to go straight to couch potatoes. 76. Okay, we're going straight to couch potatoes. Let's see if these are funny, okay, you guys? And for the different people in different cultures and countries, maybe these will be funny to you, but they won't make sense to me. The book is 26 years old. The jokes are much older. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate that. I like making my videos. Okay. Phyllis Diller. She called her husband Fang. And now if you don't know Phyllis Diller, you need to look her up. She was a hilarious comedian when I was growing up and into my young adulthood. She says Fang can't stand to see trash and garbage lying around the house. He can't stand the competition. This is the couch potato chapter. Another one by Phyllis Diller. I should have suspected my husband was lazy when his mother told me on our wedding day, I'm not losing a son, I'm gaining a couch. Okay, that's couch potato. Yes, I am old. Hello, Feline. I'm a very old person. Okay, YouTube wants me to ask all you if you like bread crust. I eat it, but I'm not a fan. I eat gluten-free bread though, so I have to eat bread that some of my bread tastes kind of yucky. I make little pizzas in my toaster oven, and sometimes the crust browns a little too much and it gets bitter. Hello, Oliver. I don't know if I'll remember that, but I hope so. Jackie Mason, another comic from my childhood who is passed. I can't go to work because I have trouble with my back. I can't get it off the bed. Okay, that was me this morning, you guys. I had bear duty last night. I had to watch for the bear, and I was in the motorhome, and it was cold in the motorhome, even though the heater was on. And I was wearing all my clothes to bed. Thank you. Oh, here, I can't remember. See, Oliver. Thank you, Oliver. I sure do appreciate that. Hey, Captain Crunch. Love Captain Crunch. Can't eat it anymore, but I do love it. All right. Something by Josh Billings. Remember, we're in the couch potato chapter. There is no radical cure for laziness, but starvation will come the nearest to it. Oh, that is actually really, oh gosh, that hits right on in today's society, at least in the United States. Holy cow, there's no radical cure for laziness, but starvation will come the nearest to it. Wow, Josh Billings, 25 years ago, kind of prophetic, wouldn't you think? The laziest man I ever met put popcorn in his pancakes so they would turn over by themselves. W.C. Fields. Another comic. You've got to look him up. He's been gone for decades. W.C. Fields. Of course, that was 100% a joke. All right. Nobody puts popcorn kernels in their pancakes. You can try it if you want. I don't think it'll work out. Okay, let's see. Nobody is being attributed to this one. I do some work around the house once in a while. The last time I worked up a sweat, my wife didn't wash my work shirt. She framed it. Oh, oh, guess what, guys? We had a son-in-law that was like that. Our very pregnant daughter was doing all of the yard work, all of the housework, working two jobs, taking care of all of the children. Well, they had two children when she was pregnant the last time. I do some work around the house once in a while. The last time I worked up a sweat, my wife didn't wash my work shirt. She framed it. There you go. You know what? Nowadays, oh, thank you, Shristi. I appreciate that. I'm an old lady. I just turned 63 a few days ago. So, yay for my old team. Here's another one that's not attributed to anyone. So, I'm not sure where it came from. I'm so lazy, I never turned the ball game on until the second inning. I'm af I'm afraid I might be a little early and have to stand for the national anthem. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, nowadays there are a lot of people who don't bother to stand for the national anthem. But I like the one about the hunger, the starvation. Work is a great incentive to cure laziness. Here's one, another. Oh, that's Grouches. We're in a different chapter there. Okay. I like this chapter on couch potatoes. Like I said, I feel like I am a couch potato. I am on the couch right now. I've got, well, I'll move that out of the way. I've got my Afghan that I made a few years ago, and I do make Afghans while I'm sitting on the couch. I love this thing. The colors in it are perfect for our house, even though this wasn't our house at the time. I just love this thing. It's my favorite. Okay. I know a guy who is so lazy he likes to do absolutely nothing at all. He just closes his eyes and pretends he's a politician. Oh, I like that. Hey, crazy Godzilla. I loved Godzilla movies when I was a kid. Is that Godzilla or is that Mothra or something on your in your photo? I can't really tell. Oliver, I do miss my dad. My dad passed away many years ago. I would love to travel to India, but I have a lot of issues with food. I have a hard time traveling. I can't eat when I travel most places. So I have to haul all my own food with me. So I really can't travel very much, but I would love to. India is such a beautiful country. Okay, here's more about this guy who is so lazy. He spends his entire day half asleep. He just leaves word for his family not to move him at all unless he's on fire. I could see me saying that. When I used to work the night shift and I would sleep during the day, I could see me saying, "Don't move me unless I'm on fire. Just leave me alone." His biggest decision is deciding whether he wants salt or pepper on his eggs in the morning. He's too lazy to shake both. That's pretty lazy. Kimbo, I did not get the bear. No, the bear is not. I don't think the bear is alive. I didn't have a chance to finish my live stream last night because I got a phone call from my husband. He was letting me know he was. Did he tell me he was on his way? Still on his way? I don't remember if he told me he was at the hotel or still on his way. I think he was still on his way. But I'm pretty sure that slug he shot it with last week went into his abdomen. Yeah, I do miss my dad. My dad was my buddy. We were fishing buddies from the time I was a little girl all the way up until I just did a video about it not too long ago, alive just a few days ago. Up until I was in my late teens, we would go fishing together. And then when my girls were little, we would go fishing with my dad. So he was part of teaching them how to fish. Hi, Shiva. Okay, here's another one on being lazy. He's too lazy even to wind a self winding watch. He slips it on his dog's tail and then makes a fuss over him. So I guess you could, because this book is 25 years old, it doesn't know about Fitbits, but that would be funny. He's too lazy to go for a walk. He just puts his Fitbit on the dog's tail and makes a fuss over him so that the dog, wags his tail and all that. So that would be funny with a Fitbit. Not so funny with a self-winding watch because those self-winding watches, you had to actually move them to get them to wind. And so it was kind of a pain. Hey, thank you to the 12 that gave me a thumbs up. That's awesome. You guys are great. Your grandpa was your role model, Larry. Yeah. My my dad's dad taught went with me to teach me how to fish. Hello, Hasnain. What time is it in India, you all? Is it nighttime? I'm on the east coast of the United States, so it is 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm wondering if it's evening for you. Chirping Homestead, you made it. Hi. Yeah, I've got quite a few people that follow me from India. It's awesome. I appreciate all of your subscriptions. Your dad's father. Oh, that stinks, Oliver. I'm sorry. 11 p.m. Wow, I'm going to keep you guys up past your bedtime. So I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because I was on bear watch. My husband had to go up to Pennsylvania. And when I say he had to go up there and pick up a motorcycle because owning 6 Harley-Davidson motorcycles isn't quite enough. So now he owns 7. 93. Wow, chirping. That's wow. My father-in-law is 93. What is my advice? My advice is don't get drunk and drive. Okay, so let's see. We have another one. The only way he brushes his teeth is barefoot on the cold marble floor. He figures it's less work if he just holds the brush still and lets his teeth chatter. That's kind of a lame one, huh? Hello, Marina. He taught his dog to fetch, but he's so lazy that he also taught him to throw the stick. Hey, Margaret. Come back, come back. That's actually funny. Have you guys seen the video of the dog that's up on like the second or third story of the apartment complex? And it is on the outside veranda, and it has a tennis ball, and it drops the tennis ball down onto the sidewalk, and people throw it back up, and the dog catches it and then throws it back down, and it just plays catch with people all day. If you would let it. I don't know if the ball ever if people just go, "Oh, God, I can't do this anymore." It's really, really fun. Okay, YouTube wants me to ask you, thank you for having fun with me, Oliver. What is your favorite random fact? Your favorite random fact. Now I'm thinking, well, the fact that vitamin D is actually a hormone, not a vitamin. That's my favorite random fact of the day. Anybody got another random fact? Random fact, my husband thinks that owning 6 Harley Davidson motorcycles isn't enough. Oh, sounds like my window is open behind me. That's not good. It's winter. I need to close that window. That's crazy. Hello, lost one. Am I your auntie? Random fact, my husband thinks he has to own what did I say? He owns 6. Now he owns 7 Harley Davidson. We also have a small collection of Hondas. And I made a comment to him the other day. We were at a museum. In fact, check out my short videos. I have a whole bunch of videos from the Wheels Through Time Motorcycle Museum in North Carolina in Maggie Valley. We went there a couple days ago. And I said to him, "You've almost got a museum," because he refuses to get rid of his motorcycles. Although there is one that's for sale. The only one I want, well, no, I shouldn't say the only one I want. One of the two that I really want is for sale, which is it's the one with the sidecar. I wanted to take my dog for rides in it. Let's see. Random fact, it's snowing in the mountains. Are you in the mountains? I didn't picture you in the mountains because of all the birds you have. I thought you'd be somewhere where you could have big coops and stuff. But I guess you don't really need a whole lot of coops, do you? You can put all your hens and a rooster or two in one coop. I really want chickens chirping homestead again. I got rid of my chickens. Well, we got rid of all of them when we moved from California to Tennessee. Let's see. Any other random facts? These collections. Um, to our air, none of my kids want motorcycle. Well, no, I can't say that. I'll bet my girls would. I've got 2 daughters who would probably like motorcycles, and a granddaughter who would like a motorcycle, and my grandsons would probably like motorcycles. You're close to the mountains, but not too close. What time is it? Just turned 1 o'clock p.m. in Northeast Tennessee. Yes, good night in India. Thank you so much for coming in and commenting, and thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Sweet, come back. So, random facts. I mentioned to him that I felt like he was starting a museum of his own. And I think it got the wheels turning in his head. I think he would like to turn our shop slash barn. It is not bad to take vitamin D, Berry Picker. Hi, Berry Picker. That's the first comment I've seen. No, it's just a hormone, though. It's not a vitamin. I can't pronounce what it is, but if you look up, is vitamin D a hormone, you will see that it is. And it's only been discovered recently that it's a hormone. So it's still called vitamin D. It is vitamin D3 is cholecalciferol. You sold all of your chickens? Oh, well, do you have chuckers? I have a funny chucker story for you if you have chuckers. Peafowl. You still have your peafowl. Love peafowl. But I don't love that they get on cars, scratch them up. Okay, so I used to be a wildlife rehabilitator, and I would get calls a lot about injured birds. And I got a call one day about a hawk that was in somebody's yard. And I got a call from the police because people call the police about things like that. There's a hawk in my yard. Oh no. So the police called me and said, "Hey, can you go check it out? Because, it could be a pigeon." It was a chucker. They thought the chucker was a hawk. They were terrified. People are weird. I want to raise quail again. We raised, watch, I hope it won't be too loud. I'm going to take my hair off my microphone. Sorry, guys. We raised, oh, Guy, why can't I think of the type of quail we raised? Right, chirping? A hawk. Oh, Guy, Coturnix quail. They were violent. And sometimes we would have the hens that would fight. And we had a hen that almost got completely scalped. And I went online and I bought a rabbit hutch. It's a two-level rabbit hutch where I can shut off the top and bottom level. No replies. Hey, what should you study to work in wildlife? Oh, I guess you could go to the university and get a degree in biology, I suppose. Chirping, I haven't done Bob White's. Are they as violent? I've heard that Bob White's can be pretty violent. But we had a coop outside, and that's where most of them were. And I'm thinking, because I had to process quite a few of the little boys because, it's way too much activity for the girls. But I'm thinking, out of the 15 or so quail that I had at any one time, I had anywhere from 1 to 3 in my house recovering. Yeah, they do get violent, huh? Recovering from their injuries. But the best part about having them in the house was the sounds that they make. And sometimes we'd have a little cock in the house and he would be doing his little crowing. And it was so sweet. And my husband actually really enjoyed that part of them, having them in the house. He also liked the eggs. I sold the eggs. I incubated eggs. I don't remember successfully hatching. Hey, Joseph. I actually don't accept tips. I'm not monetized. That's nice of you. I should put my coffee link in my description so people can leave me a tip. That would be awesome, but I don't have it set up in my yet. I haven't fully embraced this whole pay me to listen to me talk stuff because I'm not sure that I have much to offer. But I would like to do quail again. I love quail as a product, and I know there are people around me who would buy it, but it's just one more chore. And when I got rid of my chickens a couple of years ago, I was really tired. I was working only 2 nights a week. I worked 2 10-hour shifts a week at night, and then I had a day shift. I worked, I think, 3 hours a day, 3 times. So I worked 9 hours a week and I worked 20 hours a week. So I wasn't working that much, but I was very tired. But at the time, my body was growing a tumor. So then I had to have major surgery and have that tumor removed. And then a year later, not even a year later, I had an even bigger tumor, and they had to go in and do major, major surgery and remove that tumor. So I was very tired before, and I couldn't figure it out because I've always been someone who could work 12-hour shifts. I could work 7 days a week. I could do all of this stuff. I've never been someone who was lazy or anything. I'm a good wife to let my husband buy motorcycles. It's his money he's spending. I don't, I mean, I've owned motorcycles too. I have one of the Trail 90s is mine. I wish it was still functioning. He took it all apart to fix something and he never put it back together. And now we don't know how to put it back together. I'm not going to. I didn't take it apart. I thought it was fine. And then I sold my Harley before we moved. I sold my Harley. Let's see. Let's get into some more of this. How lazy is he? I like the one about the dog that fetches. That one was really funny. Grouches. Now, W.C. Fields was a famous grouch. He really was. So, if anyone wonders where he gets his information, probably from looking in the mirror. He says, start every day off with a smile and get it over with. That sounds like Groucho Marx. I mean, like W.C. Fields. Groucho Marx, no. W.C. Fields. Okay. Jean Perret, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is one of the authors of the book. So this is a Jean Perret quote. He says, there are only a few things in this life that give me pleasure, and I can't stand them. Anybody else go where I went just now? Like the one thing that brings most men pleasure, and he can't stand it? Uh, hmm, awkward silence. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's no attributed author to this one. I know a guy who was such a miserable grouch that at his funeral, the only pallbearers they could get were 6 guys who had never met him. That's sad. That's very sad. Larry, you say I'm a good wife. My husband bought a drag racing motorcycle last year. He wanted it, and he came home and he said, "Hey, uh, I really want this motorcycle." And I was like, "Could you sell one? Because our shop isn't that big. It's not. It's big, but it's not big enough because we also have a '67 Chevelle in there. It's not big enough for all the motorcycles." Anyway, my husband, I said, "Just buy it. You want it, just buy it." It wasn't all that expensive to us. It was expensive to a lot of people. It was not all that expensive to us. I didn't know he was going to race it at a race one time. He had it in the trailer. I knew he had it with him. I thought he might do a pass or two maybe during it was during test and tune. So he just went out there to ride it during test and tune. He put his leathers on, put his helmet on, his gloves, everything. My husband is 65 years old. He has abused his body his entire life. He's not been a drug addict or a raging alcoholic or anything like that. He hasn't abused his insides. He has abused his outside. He doesn't have good arms, good hands, good shoulders because of all the damage he's done to his body. Very physical person. I just have to stand back and pray, but I also have my phone ready to dial 911 because he does stuff that is not smart sometimes. I mean, it's not that it's dumb, but it's like not he's not thinking what could happen. And I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, what could happen?" Because I'm the mom, right? I mean, God created me to be concerned about the people around me. That's just the way I am. I'm a caregiver, I'm a mom, I'm a nana, I'm all the things. So I'm concerned about my husband's lack of insight into what could happen. So he gets out on the racetrack. I wasn't there. And apparently he popped a wheelie for quite a ways on this race bike. There's no wheelie bar on the back of it, which I think maybe he might be putting on. He has a V rod, if you look that up. The alarm did go off chirping, but it went off because my dog, my ranch dog, Jaja, was at her doghouse and she came out a couple times to stretch, but it went off once. And when I saw her standing there, not barking or anything, I knew it was just her that set it off. But the Catahoula and we flew out of bed. And again, I was in my clothes. The only thing I had taken off was about 2 hours into trying to sleep, I took my socks off because I had very hot socks on, and so I've got my boots outside the door. I can just jump in my boots with no socks on. So I thought about it. My brain was thinking like thinking, what can I take off so that I can sleep a little more comfortably? It was my socks. I was in my jeans, I was in my shirt, my sweater, and I had the 45 by the door. We don't have a back door, the door, and I wasn't concerned about the shotgun. I really didn't wanna have to fire the shotgun. I wanted to be able to fire the 45 because I knew I could get closer to the 45 and empty the magazine into the bear if I saw it. So, the Catahoula and we both jumped up. There was a little nightlight by the door. I unplugged the nightlight so that nothing could see into the motorhome because I didn't want the bear to see me just in case it was there and knew I was there. And I was prepared to run out with the 45 and just fill it full of manufactured projectiles. Didn't happen. I think the bear's dead. I really do. We'll probably spend a few more nights up there, and then we'll put up a game camera. And yes, definitely a bam, bam, bam. No pew, pew. We're talking bam, bam, bam. We're talking 45. I do carry my 380 in my holster, but I didn't have it with me. I needed to have it with me. I like to carry my 380 24/7. I even like to have it on when I'm in the house in case I have to leave real quickly so I don't forget it, but I didn't have it yesterday. I had a lot of stuff to pack up with the dogs and me and all that, and I knew the 45 was there, I knew the shotgun was there, so I didn't think I needed my 380, and really with a bear, a 380 doesn't do a whole lot. It'll tick them off, and 9 rounds will do something to it if in the right place, but no. You had a bear show up at your place in Arkansas. Well, I hope it didn't do the kind of damage ours did. I mean, if they're just going through your trash, yeah, it's annoying. You have to get better trash cans. This bear could turn over our Muscovy Crossing coop. It could bust into any of our other coops because they're chain link dog kennels all kind of stitched together, and nothing is anchored to the ground because we weren't thinking we had a bear problem. We had no idea. In fact, when we first lost the goats, I wondered if maybe a big cat had gotten it because when we were out in California, we had the big cats and they would carry off an 85-pound dog no problem. Just jump right into the kennel if you didn't have a cover on your kennel. In fact, we had a neighbor that lost his hunting dog. It was in a 6 by 12 dog kennel with no roof on it. And he looked out and saw the cat jump in, grab his dog, jump out, and run away. Ah, God, that just hurts your heart. Oh, it was a cub. Oh, well, that's sweet. Playing with your brother's dog. They are playful. I like watching them when they jump on people's trampolines and get in their swimming pools. I do feel sorry for people sometimes, though, because they cause a lot of damage, especially the above ground pools that just have the liner in them. Yeah, they do a lot of damage. Okay, more on grouches. I knew one kid who was miserable about everything. At his birthday party, he didn't blow out the candles. He chased them home. I don't get that one. He didn't blow out the candles, he chased them home. I knew one woman who had such a terrible frown on her face all the time that when she put on her makeup, it curdled. Wow. Chirping what message? You know what? I still see Bam 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 chirping. Is that the one you're talking about? Did it disappear for you? Oh, the mom was standing there. Wow, that's a little dangerous. Oh, you know what? There are some things built into YouTube where it will take out certain words, certain phrases that have certain words, but I don't know anything about all that. Maybe try to do it with a different way of spelling them, like spaces in between the letters. If there was a word that was questionable, I don't know, because here I am sitting talking about a 45 and a shotgun, and they haven't shut me down. Of course, if I was monetized, they'd probably unmonetize me. You can't talk about killing a bear. How dare you? Okay, let's see. This woman is such a grouch that no one goes near her. The stork left her baby 2 blocks away and she had to go pick it up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the stork brings babies. I'm slouching down. Of course, you reworded it won't let you? That's YouTube for you. That's why being over on Rumble would be better. But I can't build a following on Rumble. It's really hard to do. I follow some people that have like 60, 70,000, 350,000 followers, and they go over to Rumble and they just have a couple handfuls. They don't have very many. Rumble is a free speech platform, and there's a lot of wild west that goes on there. But there's also stuff where you can talk about things and you can show pictures and memes and you can make jokes and you can have a good time and nobody shuts you down. And you can't strike somebody's YouTube channel on Rumble because they don't just have a robot slash computer doing it. They actually have humans that look at it. So if one content creator complains because another content creator quoted them and tries to get them shut down, YouTube will take a strike seriously, and it might take you a month and a half to get your channel back to get monetized again. And you lose all that revenue if that's your job. It's kind of a big deal. So I know some content creators who will go from YouTube, they'll start their stream on YouTube, and then when it gets kind of juicy, a little bit spicy, they jump over to Rumble to finish it, and it's a lot of fun. There's a lot more freedom going on. Rumble is a green and white logo, and I think it's just the letter R, but I could be wrong. Do you see a green and white logo? Yeah. Okay, good deal. All right. Cheapskates. Jack Benny. Jack Benny, another hilarious comic that is gone. I took my date to dinner last night. She was so excited she dropped her tray. That means he took the waitress to dinner, but she was actually at work. Okay. Phyllis Diller again talking about her husband Fang, and that is what she called her husband Fang. Fang took the entire family out for coffee and donuts the other night. The kids enjoyed it. It was the first time they'd ever given blood. Oh my gosh. If you know, you know. Oh my gosh, my husband gives blood. He always gets treats. Oh, that's hilarious. I don't give blood as often because my iron level is usually too low. That is so funny. Chirping Homestead, I don't know who I am over there. Hello, Anu. I am in Tennessee, in the United States. My channel name might be ah, I don't know. Chirping Homestead, if you are Chirping Homestead over there, I will find you. I will stalk you and I will find you and I will follow you. And it might be my username might start with the letter A and end with the number 4. Okay? Just so you know, I don't want to say what it is, but it might start with the letter A and end with the numeral 4. That might, or it might be Nana's Ranch. I'm not sure. I'll see if I can change it to Nana's Ranch. That would make more sense. Another cheapskate, Henny Youngman, another great comic, gone. Cheap? He asks. His hearing aid is on a party line. Most people don't get that. Most people don't get that. Stop with the racism? Whatever. No, that's really funny. Yeah. Did any of you have a party line? Raise your hand if you had a party line. Yeah, I'm 63, so yes, we had a party line because my parents had a phone number upstairs, but when my brother and I were okay, Tom, where's the racism? I don't see it. Is somebody in here being racist and stupid? Let me see. I don't see anybody being racist at all. So I didn't say racism is funny, you weirdo. Okay, let's see. So the party line was for me and my brother because we were teenagers and we were taking up too much time on the upstairs phone. Plus, my parents rented out rooms in the basement as well, but that's where my brother and I hung out. No, I didn't. Go away. Go blame someone else for saying racist things. Oh, God, you're such an idiot. Okay, let me take care of the moron. Is that racist too? I'm just going to do. I'm not going to put this person on timeout. I'm going to remove whoever that idiot was from my channel. Now they can call me a racist all day long and nobody can see it. Hello, Amit. All right, let's see. So the party line was the way where my parents could get a phone number for my brother and I in the basement, or for me and my brother in the basement, rather. I'm doing good, thank you. Chirping Homestead, sweet. I'll go to Rumble and I'll follow you. And I might change my name to Nana's Ranch. We'll just see, because that is where I'm most noticed. I'm in Tennessee, Amit. I'm in the United States, in Tennessee. What are you? I am a human female. Born female, I will die female, no matter what surgeries I may have. I actually joked when I went in for my hysterectomy, and I said, I saw a friend down the way. He would work there. I don't know if he was an orderly or if he was a nurse. I'm not sure. And I said, "Hey, I'm here for my sex change," but I wasn't really. I was there to have my whole thing taken out. I was going to become a grumpy old woman, though. Pretty much the hormone thing happened right away. Okay, this guy is so cheap. He won't even eat in the sun for fear his shadow will ask him for a bite. That's from Jack Benny. Not real funny, Jack, but I guess maybe a little bit funny. Amit, what am I doing? Darling, I'm reading from a book of one-liners from mostly dead comics over the years. This is a 25-year-old book, so some of the quotes are from people who have died in the last 25 years. Hey, nothing is attributed to this cheapskate. This friend of mine is the cheapest man I've ever known. He still has the first dollar he ever borrowed. Okay, I like that one. Can you tell? You guys ever you know anybody who borrowed money from you and then just never paid it back? I had a family member right before Christmas once, and he knew I had a really good job. I mean, I had a really good job. I was 20/21. I had probably just turned 21, and I was working a lot of hours at a really good government job. I was making very good money. What am I I'm reading jokes, and we're talking about stuff. And so he wanted to borrow $100 to buy Christmas presents for his family, and he was, about 2 years older than me, still is. I loaned him $100. I thought, "Yeah, okay, yes." I said, "Pay me back $10 a month." Never got paid a single dollar. He forgot all about it. About 7 or 8 years later, I was going through a really hard time. "Hey, poet, you never." "Oh, no!" "You bought him a new shed, so you guys are even, but you might have to tell him." You may have to tell him, "Hey, dad, we're even." Sorry for the cough. This stream is about a lot of stuff, poet. A lot of times it's about farm and ranch things. Sometimes it's about motorcycles, motorcycle racing. Sometimes it's about gardening. Today it's about jokes, one liners. So, this person that borrowed $100 from me before Christmas, a few years later, I was going through a very traumatic divorce, and put it that way. My ex was doing all he could to alienate me from anybody who would support me and my family, including my parents and everybody. And he was trying to make it so that I would stay with him, even though he didn't want me because he wanted to date and do one night stands in bars and things. But he still wanted to have me as his wife, which is really weird. And I couldn't support that. So, yes, I left him. Anyway, going through a really, you got your first bike recently. Cool. I want to know what it is. Ooh, starting to snow. I hate windy, snowy days. They're coming for us too. They are like this next week. They're coming. After Thanksgiving, it's going to be a snow show. I won't say the SH word. It's going to be a snow show for a snit. A snit show. Oh, yeah. So as I was going through that, this person called me and he and his wife said, "Hey, I know you're going through a hard time. If there's anything we can do, just let us know." And I said, "Well, you could pay me back the $100 you borrowed X number of years ago. That would really help me out." He hung up on me and we never have talked since. Well, we've talked, but he's never paid me back. That's pretty funny though. Your guinea hens have keats and eggs. Guinea keats are so cute. You know, the hardest part about having guinea keats for me was when the predators came in. I had no idea the ground squirrels were going to mutilate my guinea keat population. I had no idea. Of course, the ravens I expected, and the hawk I expected. But I also expected their mom to do a little bit better job of defending them. Hello? So I raised all the baby guineas and then I sold them because I didn't need more guineas. Because, hello from India. You are probably the third person from India. It is very late in India. Our people from India have gone to bed. Two or three of the keats just run away and die, right? Yeah, that's well, actually, I had the hen that the first night she came out of the nest with all of her babies. I just reposted a video from 13 years ago, finding a nest of guinea keats that were hatching, and I had to steal them from her because the previous time she had had babies, she brought them out of the nest. So some of them would have been 2 days old, some of them were 1 day old, and she had them around the yard. And that evening, when it was time to snuggle down with them in a hidden place, she flew up in the tree to be with all the other guineas and left all her babies in a little pile on the ground. So they were easy to collect, thankfully. Okay, here's another cheap one. This friend of mine is the cheapest man I've ever known. Oh, that's the one about the first dollar he ever borrowed. I wonder if that guy still has the first 100 he borrowed from me. I'll have to clip this and send it to him in a text message. Thank you for giving me a good laugh, by the way. They are fast, and we used a net. We have had to use nets over the years. This guy is so cheap that he does not own. that he not only has the first dollar he ever made, but also the arm of the man who handed it to him. Oh my gosh. My husband has a cousin. Her husband said she has very long pockets and short arms. In other words, she'll put money in her pockets, but she can never reach in to take the money out. He calls her a cheapskate. Long pockets and short arms. Okay, this guy is so cheap that he always leaves a 20% tip, 20% of what anyone else would leave. Oh, pheasants. Yeah, pheasants will fly. Good. I'm glad. I'm loving this book. I'm really loving this book. I thought it would be a little too old-fashioned because it is so old, but these ones of cheapskates are pretty much hitting the mark. I love the one about the first dollar he ever borrowed, and then the one about the first dollar with the arm attached to it. That's pretty funny. It's not that I'm cheap. I just hate to give money away after I've memorized the serial numbers. Oh god. You know what? Life used to be simple. I used to have my credit card number memorized, my bank account number memorized, my social security, my passport number, my address, and my phone number. Now, oh, and my driver license number. I had all these numbers memorized. Those were the only numbers I needed in life. Now I have my address and phone number memorized. I have no idea what my bank account is. I have no idea what my passport is. None of it. I don't know any of it. I used to have a lot of stuff memorized. No, I can't memorize bank info. No way. My brain doesn't go there. I mean, I'm seriously, even my address sometimes throws me for a loop because we have 3 addresses. We have a home address. They're all 3 number addresses. At least they're not 4 or 5. That would be horrible. Then we have the ranch address, then we have the commercial property address. And I do my brain the when we had the bear problem and I had to call the police because well, we thought at first that Abba Zaba had been stolen because there was no evidence of a crime. I mean, there was no evidence. So sometimes no evidence is evidence, right? Like there was no evidence of a break-in, there was no evidence of anything. Did our I thought maybe our poacher came and took her. I don't know. Do you want to eat a 13-year-old goat? If you're stupid, you do. But we called the police and they're like, "What's the address?" Awkward silence as I try to figure out the address of our ranch. Oh god. Okay. Okay, this one is I had a friend who was so cheap that he borrowed a suit to be buried in. You guys know anybody like that? Hey, Kate. What's up with 340 bucks, Kate? Let's see. This guy uses No, I'm sorry. That's my brain. This guy owes so much money to so many people. His answering machine just says, "Hi, your check is in the mail." That's an old one. Answering machine and check in the mail, right? Hey, Kate. No. I'm so excited, Kate. Thank you so much. I'm not monetized yet, sweetie. Come back when I'm monetized and you might be able to get me. Hi, you're cozy. He's so cheap. He'd like to put a few bucks into the stock market, but all his money is sewn into his mattress. People used to sew money into mattresses, you guys. That's back when you had a mattress when you first got married and you pretty much died on the same bed and family would find money sewn into your mattress. Some people sew money into their clothing, especially during, I will say, during the Second World War when people were having to hide from the overtaking armies that came into their country. A lot of the Jewish people were having to sew their jewels and cash and things into their clothing. So, yes. Your cozy wants the $340, Kate. Give it. Hand it over. Give it, give it, give it. Okay. This guy is so cheap, he won't buy deodorant. He buys a soap that odor proofs the body for 12 hours and keeps turning the clock back. I don't know. That wasn't funny. That wasn't funny. Okay, here's one that's going to hit home because sometimes I'm a little bit crazy. It's called Crazies. This is the chapter called Crazies. Do you know Mel Gibson? Hi, Rana Rana. I was in a Mel Gibson movie, but I never met him. I just read that 1 out of every 4 people is mentally unbalanced. Try it. Think of 3 of your best friends. If they seem all right to you, you're the one. That's from Slappy White. I think it's 1 out of 5, literally 1 out of 5, but 1 out of 4 works for the joke. I was in a Mel Gibson production called Paparazzi, and Mel Gibson had a cameo in the movie. I was not there the day they filmed his scene. My scene did not make it in the final movie, but I was in it in a couple of places as a person in the crowd. I was in Paparazzi with Mel Gibson, and I worked with, come on, chat, help me. Who was the guy I worked with, the actor in that scene? He's Cole Hauser. I worked one-on-one with Cole Hauser. Oh, good, I'm back. Can you hear me? Please tell me if you can hear me. I need to know because I just got a phone call and sometimes my phone shuts off. I'm gonna have to go into chat. Oh, good. Thank you. Sometimes I get a phone call and that's why I'm on my microphone because, okay, good to know. All right. Yeah, working one-on-one with Cole Hauser. He was not known at the time. He had a career. He had been in things, but it was his big break was Paparazzi. It was actually a good movie. He was filming Passion of the Christ when we were filming Paparazzi in Southern California. So he was actually in Italy, Mel Gibson was, when we were filming the scenes I was in. And I was in the outside scenes at the red carpet event. You guys won't see me. You won't know who I am, most likely. My hair was dyed brown. I was wearing a gray suit. I was an unnamed background actor, and I was brought out of the crowd to work one-on-one with Cole Hauser. And then I went to the movies, and my scene was not in the movie. That's the way it is when you're an actress. I knew someone who was in a scene of NCIS, and she was so excited. It was a restaurant scene, and I'm not sure what her part was, but she actually got lines. I mean, we all get paid the same, whether we're in the movie or not, doesn't really matter. But we were all watching it because there's a whole acting community that I'm involved with under my stage name. And whenever one of us is going to be on one of those shows, we send out the word, hey, watch this episode of this TV show. I'm in it. Well, she actually had lines in it and she worked with the lead actors on NCIS. And we all watched it and her entire scene was cut. That sucks. Hello, Sweden. Are we cousins? I'm cousins with people in Sweden. I just don't know them yet. My DNA ancestry hasn't made anyone pop up and say, hey, here's your Swedish friend, our cousin. Okay, crazies. There is a thin line between genius and insanity. I have erased that line. Oscar Levant. Very good, Oscar. Okay, nobody's attributed to this one. They asked my Uncle Wally if anybody in his family suffers from insanity. He said no. They all seem to be enjoying it. Hey, Fred. Again, thank you for the hearts. I did watch Braveheart. I could not watch Passion of the Christ. It's got way too much. Hello, Rana from India. I could not watch Passion of the Christ. I think that it just would have broken my heart. I couldn't do it. He's on his way home from Pennsylvania right now. In fact, he's probably through Maryland and in West Virginia right now. Insanity is a label. Okay. People considered my Uncle Mort crazy because he always wore one red sock and one blue one instead of trousers and a coat jacket. Oh no. Mort was a naked man. Let's hope he had boxer shorts on. Oh my gosh. Nobody wants to see Uncle Mort. Came out in his 2 socks. We had one guy in our neighborhood who thought he was a rooster. It was sad. The day after he died, everyone overslept. You always wear 2 or 3 socks? Well, I always wear 2, and I don't think I wanna know why you sometimes wear 3. Chirping, I am 8 hours away from wherever he was in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure where he was this morning. Uh, it's very difficult to become a doctor. Rana, United States medical training is time consuming and expensive, but I think as far as the level of care goes, we're not all that outstanding at all. I think the US has a lot to learn from other countries. I've had a friend who was a paranoid schizophrenic. He always thought he was following himself. I have a friend whose mom was a paranoid schizophrenic, and she thought there were people in the walls, which is really sad. Hey, Fred, my profession, I am retired. No, he doesn't have a real bad drive, and the weather should be good, chirping. He's definitely in a good place as far as going up there and coming back, because if he was going to do it this coming week, it would have been miserable. Pennsylvania is going to get a lot of snow around Thanksgiving, which, oh, Thanksgiving, oh my goodness. I need to buy, I think I'm just going to buy a big chicken or a turkey breast, maybe. We've got potatoes, we've got green beans, I've got carrots. I don't think I'm going to make cranberry sauce. I think I'll just buy cranberry sauce. No, I might make it. My mouth is watering. Just thinking about cranberry sauce. I love it. One friend of mine always thought he was too short to amount to anything. I convinced him that was crazy. When he left my house that night, a cat ate him. He was too small. Uh, Fred, I don't really have a profession. I was an actress for many years, but I don't live in a place where that happens anymore. So now I'm just a retired old lady. I had an aunt who thought she was the Queen of England. I would have told her how insane that was, but I didn't want to blow my chances of a knighthood. Oh, cool. Coeur d'Alene. I rode my motorcycle through Coeur d'Alene in a winter storm once. My friend lives in Coeur d'Alene now, our old neighbor. She just bought a house there. It's a it's a pretty city. It can be kind of dirty in the winter, but it's pretty because they salt, or they don't salt. They sand the roads and so things are dirty. Hello, Izzy, Queen of England of everything. Okay. He wanted a knighthood from his crazy auntie. I had one aunt who thought she was the Goodyear blimp. Sure, it sounds crazy to you, but she got to see a lot of football games for free. I don't know about that. I'm in Tennessee, Izzy. I grew up in California, but I'm in Tennessee. Okay, fashion. I would imagine they have an ice skating rink, but I really don't know that much about Coeur d'Alene. I spent some time a ways away from Coeur d'Alene. I did go to the Coeur d'Alene River, or whatever the river is that goes through Coeur d'Alene, that you might be on your cruise, actually. And we played at the park when our girls were little, but I don't remember much about the city at all. I rode through it on my motorcycle. It was snowing behind me and raining in front of me, and we stayed a few days over in Washington, in Spokane, at our friends. Yes, I am married, Fred. Gonna be on the lake. That's gonna be fun. I hope you have a good time. It's beautiful. It really is. You're from a beautiful place as well. It's just a different kind of beauty there in that part of Idaho with all the forest and all that. Okay. Irma Bombeck. Hilarious. Check it out. Irma Bombeck. I know it's backwards. I just got this book, Aunt Irma's Cope book. I'm going to be reading some stuff out of that another time. Irma Bombeck says, Heaven knows I try to bend the dictates of fashion, but I'm a loser. When I grew my own bustle, they went out of style. I don't get that. That's not funny. Is that funny? Is marriage worth it? It depends on who you marry, Frederick. I married a real pain in the butt once. Clothes make the man. This is from Mark Twain. Clothes make the man. Naked people have little or no influence in society. Did anyone tell Uncle Mort that? It's hard to buy a negligee in my size. I wear a junior mister. I don't know what that means. That was from Phyllis Diller. Gilda Radner. Hilarious woman, Gilda Radner. I base most of my fashion taste on what doesn't itch. That is sage advice. Once again, I base most of my fashion taste on what doesn't itch. Gilda Radner, that was genius. All right, you guys, I am going to clock out. It has been a little more than an hour that I've been here. Thank you so much for joining me, for reading through this little book. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all the thumbs up. That was awesome. And if you subscribed, thank you very much. Chirping, I'm going to head over to Rumble. I've got a couple of streams to check out because I haven't been there in a few days. And I will look you up and I will definitely follow you. And like I said, my name may start with an A and end with the numeral 4 over there, but I might change it to Nana's Ranch. We'll see. God bless you guys and have a wonderful Monday. I don't know if I'll be going live later or not, but if I do, maybe I'll see you here. India, go to bed. It's late.